Hello and welcome to the January full moon horoscope. My name is Venus Green. Welcome to my astrology channel. First, I want to say Happy New Year to you, and I hope that you had some wonderful holiday celebrations with your loved ones in whatever way that you celebrate the holidays. And today we're going to be talking about January 13th, which is the day that we are going to experience the full moon in Cancer at 23 degrees. And this is likely to be a time of heightened emotions, maybe some revelations, and the culmination of themes related to home, family, and emotional security. Now, this full moon sits opposite the sun in Capricorn. And so this is creating a dynamic tension between our personal lives and our ambitions. But it's not just any full moon. It's infused with a powerful transit that brings about some opportunities for breakthroughs, healing, and self-awareness. And today I'd like to guide you through what these alignments mean and how they might show up in your life and how you might be able to harness this energy for growth. So this full moon is going to be highlighting the Cancer-Capricorn axis, the balance between emotional needs and our external responsibilities. So Cancer invites us to nurture ourselves and connect deeply with our roots, while Capricorn is a reminder of our ambitions and the structures that we build to support our goals. Now, during this time, you might feel pulled between family obligations and career demands. For some, this could bring some emotional breakthroughs, like maybe realizing the need to set some boundaries at work in order to be able to prioritize our loved ones. For others, we might find ourselves reorganizing our professional goals to better align with our personal values. And collectively, this axis could manifest as news or information related to policies of work-life balance, or maybe themes revolving around parental leave from our career. It could also just be housing security as well. Now, Uranus is the planet of surprise and innovation, and it's forming a harmonious connection to the full moon. So Uranus will be sextile the moon and it'll be trine the sun. So this is infusing this lunation with the energy of unexpected insights and breakthroughs. Now, this alignment could bring some sudden opportunities to us, especially in areas related to home, finances, and emotional security. So for instance, you might receive some unexpected financial support at this time. You might also discover a new way to create some stability in your personal life, if that's something you've been looking for. On a broader scale, though, this aspect might coincide with some technological advancements or maybe some innovations in things like sustainable living. It's definitely a time to embrace change and to think outside the box. Now, Mars is retrograde in Cancer at this time, and it's going to be sitting very closely to the moon. So this will be adding some intensity to our emotions. There's also a trine to Neptune in Pisces, so this might offer a softening of this energy a little bit, maybe offering some inspiration and compassion as we navigate our feelings at this time. Now, you might feel an urge to take action during this full moon, especially around matters of home and family. So this could mean maybe initiating a conversation about emotional boundaries, possibly advocating for your needs in some sort of nurturing way. For some, this alignment will probably spark some creativity, maybe of artistic projects or maybe spiritual practices like meditation. These might feel good and especially rewarding during this time. On a collective level, we might hear or see about stories of communities coming together for some charitable causes or maybe some creative problem solving and related to some challenging situations. Now, Venus is also going to be in Pisces, and she will be forming a square with Jupiter, which is still retrograde at this time in Gemini. So this will be creating some tension between our desires for abundance and the reality of our resources. This is an aspect that could manifest as things like overspending, maybe overpromising, or maybe feeling stretched a little bit too thin. You might find yourself wanting to say yes to everything, but with a very real need to actually prioritize what you can't get done. So for those in creative or maybe entrepreneurial fields, this could be a real turning point, right? A balancing of ambition with practicality might lead to some breakthroughs in your work. On a collective scale, though, this energy might show up as discussions about financial limits or maybe oversights in this area of our life. Now, the full moon in Cancer, with its blend of emotional intensity and transformative potential, is going to be asking us to find some balance between our inner world and our responsibilities. So, if you have any placements around 23 degrees of the cardinal signs, what are the cardinal signs? Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. You're likely going to feel this full moon with a bit more intensity. So this is a beautiful moment for finding some harmony between your ambitions and your personal life, and maybe creating space for both with some stability and growth as you enter into this new phase and the new year. It's a good time to reflect on what it is that needs nurturing in your life and where you can let go of any outdated structures or possibly beliefs. This is a really powerful lunation to embrace change, to reconnect with your emotional core, and to take some inspired action toward a more aligned future. Now let's take a look at how this full moon might impact each of the rising signs so that you can see where these themes will probably show up in your life. And we are going to get started with Aries rising. So Aries, this full moon on January 13th will be shining its light in your 4th house of home and family and emotional foundations. Opposite this moon is the sun in Capricorn in your 10th house. So this lunation asks you to balance your private life with your professional ambitions. It's really a moment to reflect on how you nurture yourself and others while also considering the structures that you've built in your public life. Now, this full moon energy may bring a culmination or a turning point in matters related to your home, family, or living situation. Perhaps you've been focusing heavily on work, and now you are probably realizing, or you may be realizing, the importance of creating some emotional security at home. And this could be a time when family dynamics come into focus for you, or you might feel the urge to reconnect with your roots. So consider using this full moon to reassess your work-life balance. Are there some responsibilities at home that might need your attention more than your career? Or is there maybe a professional boundary that you need to establish in order to prioritize your personal life? Now there's an aspect to Uranus, which is in Taurus, and it's a harmonious aspect with the full moon. So it's adding an element of surprise and innovation to the mix. So for you, Uranus is in your 2nd house of finances and self-worth. So unexpected opportunities might arise in these areas. You might see that this looks like a sudden decision to make changes in your home environment. Or maybe it's finding some creative ways to manage your resources. Maybe something a little bit different or outside the norm of what you usually do. You're probably going to want to stay open to some unexpected shifts in your financial or living situation. This is a good time to consider how your material resources support your emotional well-being. So if an opportunity arises, you're going to want to trust your instincts and think creatively. Now, if we take a look at Mars is retrograde and will be conjunct the moon in your 4th house. So emotions could run high in your domestic life. However, there's also a trine to Neptune in Pisces, which is your 12th house of spirituality. And this could soften this energy, offering a chance for some healing and some inspired action. Now, this is the powerful time to address any lingering issues that you have at home. So whether it's reorganizing your space, maybe it's revisiting your family dynamics, or maybe just taking some steps to create a more nurturing environment. You're going to want to lean into this energy with some compassion and creativity. And you might also find that some spiritual practices like meditation could be especially soothing now. Venus will be in your 12th house. It should be square Jupiter in your 3rd. So this is creating a sort of push-pull dynamic between your inner world and your external communications. So you might feel torn between wanting to retreat and focus on your personal growth versus maybe putting the energy into your social and your intellectual pursuits. I'll be mindful of overcommitting in your social realm or in maybe with even some learning opportunities. You're going to want to prioritize your mental and emotional well-being and set some boundaries where needed at this time. If you feel like you've been exploring creative and spiritual pursuits, then this is a really good time to integrate those into your daily life in a way that feels very sustainable. So this full moon is going to be offering a powerful opportunity to harmonize your inner and your outer worlds. Use this nurturing energy of Cancer to reflect on what it is you truly need to feel secure, both emotionally and physically. Questions you might want to ask yourself: how can I create a stable foundation that supports both my personal and my professional goals? Maybe what patterns or structures need to be released in order to make some space for new growth in my life? This is a time to definitely honor your emotions and take some inspired steps toward creating a life that feels aligned with your deepest needs. So remember, Aries rising, balance is the key to thriving under this full moon energy. Now we have Taurus rising. Taurus, for you, this full moon, again, it's happening on January 13th, is going to illuminate your third house of communication, learning, and local community. It'll be opposite the sun in Capricorn, which is in your 9th house of travel, higher education, and belief systems. So this lunation invites you to find balance between your everyday connections and your big picture goals. Now, it's a moment to reflect on how your immediate environment supports or challenges your broader aspirations. This full moon might bring about some important realizations or some culminations related to communication or education, or maybe even some just projects that you are involved in locally. It could be a time when a conversation sparks some clarity, or maybe when a learning opportunity comes to fruition. So you might feel drawn to reflect on how your beliefs influence your day-to-day life. Now consider how your daily routines and your local environment align with your broader goals. Are there patterns of thought or habits that need to be revisited during this time? Using this full moon to prioritize some clear communication and some meaningful connections will be good for your immediate surroundings. Now with the aspects to Uranus is in Taurus, so this will be in your first house of identity. It'll be forming a harmonious aspect to the full moon, so it's encouraging you to embrace innovation and individuality. Now this transit might bring some sudden insights or breakthroughs related to your self-expression and your personal growth. You're probably going to want to be open to some shifts in how you communicate or maybe how you perceive the world around you. This is a really good time to explore new ways of learning and sharing your voice. So trust your intuition if some unexpected opportunities arise that would align with your authentic self. Now with Mars retrograde and at this time it will be conjunct the moon, it'll be in your 3rd house. So this full moon is going to energize your local connections and your creative ideas. The trine to Neptune in Pisces is in your 11th house of friendships and aspirations. So this adds a layer of compassion and inspiration to all of your interactions. Now, this is a really powerful time to revisit creative projects or some collaborative efforts with friends or in community groups. So whether it's maybe reconnecting with your neighbors, possibly brainstorming some new ideas, or maybe just engaging in some meaningful conversations, it's a good energy to lean into so that you can build some supportive networks. Well, Venus, which is your ruling planet, will be in your 11th house, and she'll be square to Jupiter in the 2nd of finances and personal values. So this could be creating some tension between your aspirations and your resources. You might feel pulled between contributing to group efforts or maybe focusing on your own material and emotional needs. You're going to want to set some boundaries around your time and your energy to ensure that you're not overextending yourself. So prioritize commitments that would align with both your values and your long-term goals, and use this aspect to reassess how your resources can best support your dreams and your community connections. Now, this full moon is going to encourage you to bridge the gap between your immediate environment and your larger aspirations. So use the nurturing energy of Cancer to reflect on how your local connections and your daily routines support your growth and your alignment with your values. Questions that you may want to ask yourself during this time, or just be thinking or meditating on: how can I create a harmonious balance between my day-to-day life and my broader visions? Or what conversations or projects need some closure or some reevaluations in order to move forward? So Taurus, this is a time to honor your intuition, to embrace your innovation, and to take some thoughtful action toward building a life that feels both connected and purposeful. And now we have Gemini rising. This full moon on January 13th will be illuminating your second house of finances, self-worth, and personal values. Opposite is the sun in Capricorn, which is your 8th house of shared resources and transformation. So this lunation asks you to find a balance between what is yours and what it is that you share with others, whether this is money, energy, or emotional investment. This lunation shines a light on your relationship with money, possessions, and self-worth versus your deeper emotional and financial entanglements with others. So take this opportunity to reflect on whether your financial and your emotional boundaries are serving you. Are you giving too much, or are you possibly holding back where you should be investing a little bit more? This is a powerful time to redefine your approach to security and value system. Now, Uranus will be in Taurus at this time, and this is your 12th house of the subconscious, and it's harmonizing with the moon and the sun. So this aspect might bring about a sudden clarity or possibly a breakthrough about hidden financial patterns or maybe unconscious beliefs that are affecting your sense of security. Now pay attention to any flashes of insight you might receive, or maybe some unexpected opportunities for solutions that might help you to resolve some long-standing issues related to money or shared resources. Journaling and meditating are going to be ways to help you tap into these deeper realizations. Now, Mars is still retrograde at this time, but will be conjunct the moon in your second house. So this is energizing your focus on personal finances and self-esteem. Meanwhile, we also have a trine to Neptune in Pisces, and that's your 10th house of career and public image. So this aligns your emotional energy with your professional aspirations. It's a good idea to use this time to align your financial goals with your career dreams. Reflect on how your emotional patterns and your self-worth influence your professional choices, and take some steps to create a more supportive foundation for success. We also will have Venus in Pisces at this time, and that's your 10th house. And she'll be square Jupiter and Gemini in your first house of identity. So this aspect highlights the tension between your professional ambitions and your personal growth. So you might be asking yourself, are you pursuing a career path that aligns with your true self? Use this time to clarify what it is that you really want and ensure that your outer image reflects your inner values. This full moon is going to encourage you to reflect on your financial and your emotional foundations. So with the moonlight highlighting your second house, it's an ideal time to reassess your self-worth and to align your values with your professional goals. Some questions that might be worthy of meditating on are: how can I balance my need for personal security and the demands of my shared commitments? And what steps can I take to create a more stable financial and emotional foundation? So Gemini, this lunation invites you to prioritize what it is that truly matters to you. It's empowering you to build a life that feels both secure and meaningful. And now we have Cancer rising. Cancer, for you, this full moon highlights the need for balance between your personal needs and your commitments to others. So you might find yourself reflecting on how your relationships either support or challenge your growth. And take this time to assess whether your partnerships are aligned with your personal goals and your emotional well-being. Use this energy to communicate your needs and to establish some healthier dynamics where necessary in your relationships. Now, Uranus will be in Taurus, and this is your 11th house of friendships and aspiration. It's harmonizing with both the moon and the sun, so it's bringing some innovative insights into how your social connections and your future goals influence your identity and your relationships. Well, this is a great time to explore new ways to express yourself in group settings or to build connections with like-minded individuals. Unexpected support or maybe inspiration may come from your wider network, so keep your mind open to fresh ideas. Mars is still retrograde at this time, but will be conjunct the moon, and this is in your first house, so it's energizing your emotions and your personal drive. At the same time, we also have a trine to Neptune in Pisces, which is your 9th house of beliefs and exploration. So this brings a spiritual and a compassionate undertone to your actions. So reflect on how your emotional patterns influence your actions and your ability to assert yourself. Maybe consider engaging in activities that align with your higher beliefs or inspire personal growth. These could be things such as journaling, meditation, maybe just connecting with some mentors that you're interested in. And we also have Venus in Pisces, your 9th house. She'll be square to Jupiter in Gemini, which is your 12th house of the subconscious. So this aspect might create some tension between your desire to expand your horizons and also the internal fears or maybe hidden doubts that are holding you back. So reflect on whether your beliefs and your aspirations are being influenced by your subconscious patterns. Use this time to release any self-doubt and focus on the goals that truly inspire you. Seek out some opportunities for learning or maybe travel that will align with your deeper values. So this full moon is a deeply personal time of self-discovery and growth for you, Cancer. With the moon in your first house, it's important to honor your emotions and to reflect on your evolving identity. The energy encourages you to balance your personal needs with your commitments to others while fostering some healthier relationships and greater self-awareness. So you might be asking yourself, how can I nurture myself while also maintaining harmony in my relationships? And what steps can I take to align my actions with my personal values and my higher aspirations? Cancer, this is your moment to embrace your authenticity, release emotional baggage, and to step toward a life that truly is what you want to create. Now we have Leo rising. Leo, for you, this full moon is in your 12th house, and it shines a light on your need for solitude and inner healing, while the sun is in your 6th house, and it's emphasizing your responsibilities and your routines. So consider whether you've been overworking or maybe neglecting your emotional and spiritual well-being. This is a time to create some balance between your inner and your outer worlds. So allow yourself the rest and reflection that you need to avoid either burnout or maybe just to regain some clarity. Now, Uranus is in Taurus, and Uranus is harmonizing with the sun and the moon. So it's connecting to your 10th house of career and your inner world of daily routines. So this aspect could bring some unexpected clarity or maybe some breakthroughs in how it is that you balance professional ambitions with your personal well-being. So be open to maybe some surprising opportunities or maybe some realizations about your career that align with your deeper emotional needs. This is a good time to explore innovative ways that integrate your professional and your personal life. We also have Mars still in retrograde, but it will be conjunct the moon in your 12th house. So this intensifies your focus on the subconscious patterns and the emotional healing that's needed. There's also a trine to Neptune in Pisces. So this is your 8th house of transformation and shared resources. So this supports some deep emotional release and some spiritual renewal. We use this time for some introspection. Journaling, meditating, or engaging in some sort of creative spiritual practices could help you to process any lingering emotional baggage and maybe realign with your inner truth. Now we also have Venus in Pisces, your 8th house, and she'll be square to Jupiter in Gemini, which is your 11th house of friendships and long-term aspirations. So this aspect might highlight potential tensions between your intimate relationships and your social or your professional goals. So reflect on whether your personal connections are truly supporting or maybe detracting from your broader aspirations. Are there some adjustments needed here? Some that you could make to maybe maintain the harmony in both areas of your life. So this full moon is a call to balance your inner needs with your outer responsibilities. With the moon highlighting your 12th house, it's a really good time to address the subconscious patterns and to prioritize emotional healing. Good things for meditation or journaling to ask yourself, how can I honor my need for rest and reflection while still showing up for my daily obligations? And what steps can I take to bring more balance into my inner and my outer worlds? Leo, this lunation invites you to trust the process of letting go, of creating some space for a renewed sense of purpose and alignment in both your personal and your professional life. Now we have Virgo rising. Virgo, this full moon happening on January 13th shines brightly in your 11th house of friendships, social networks, and long-term aspiration. Now, it's opposing the sun in Capricorn, which is your 5th house of creativity, pleasure, and personal expression. So this lunation is going to be asking you to find some balance between your role as who you are in your larger communities and your need for personal joy and self-expression. Now, the full moon highlights your 11th house, so it's drawing your attention to your connections with others and your vision for the future. It's opposing the sun in your 5th house, right? So it's encouraging some reflection on how much of your energy is spent supporting others versus nurturing your own creative projects and passions. So consider whether your current social circles are aligned with your long-term aspirations. This is a really great time to revisit group communities and ensure that they are supporting your personal goals and your self-expression. Now, Uranus is in Taurus, and it's harmonizing with both the moon and the sun, so it's linking your 9th house of higher learning and adventure with your social networks and creative expression. So this transit could bring some surprising opportunities for collaboration or maybe some new insights into how you approach your goals. It's a good idea to be open to meeting new people at this time, or maybe just exploring ideas that expand your worldview. So things like joining a new group or maybe connecting with some like-minded individuals could spark some inspiration in your creative pursuits. We have Mars retrograde conjunct the moon, and this is in your 11th house. So it's intensifying feelings around friendships and group dynamics. But we also have a trine to Neptune in Pisces, which is in your 7th house of relationships. And this encourages some compassionate communication and some emotional clarity. So if tensions arise in group settings, focus on honest and empathetic dialogue. This is also a great time to strengthen partnerships that align with your long-term goals. Now, Venus is in Pisces, which is your 7th house, and she's square to Jupiter in Gemini, your 10th house of career and public life. So this aspect might highlight some potential tensions between close partnerships and professional responsibilities. So reflect on how you can balance your personal and your professional life, and are there ways to harmonize those areas that support both your relationships and your ambitions? The full moon invites you to reflect on the balance between your community and your personal joy. So with the moon highlighting your 11th house, it's time to evaluate whether your social circles are helping or hindering your long-term dreams. Questions to maybe ask yourself for either journaling or meditation would be, are my friends in my group commitments aligned with my aspirations? Or how could I help to create a supportive network that fosters both collaboration and individual clarity? Well, Virgo, this lunation offers you the clarity to refine your vision for the future and build some meaningful connections that embrace your creative potential. And now we have Libra rising. Libra, this full moon places a spotlight on your public image and your professional life. And it's encouraging you to reflect on the balance between your work and your home. Now, the sun in the 4th house reminds you that your emotional well-being is just as important as your career success. So if work has dominated your life, then this is a moment to step back and evaluate how your home life supports or maybe detracts from your professional goals. Seek some ways to create a healthy balance between these two areas. Uranus in Taurus is harmonizing with both the moon and the sun. So it's linking your 8th house of shared resources and transformation with your professional and your personal foundations. Now, this transit could bring some unexpected opportunities to maybe redefine your career path or possibly find innovative ways to manage your shared responsibilities. Now, be open to unconventional ideas or maybe some collaborations that align with your values. A financial or career-related breakthrough could also be on the horizon at this time. Now, Mars is retrograde but conjunct the moon in your 10th house, so this intensifies feelings about your career and your public image. It's also trine to Neptune in Pisces in your 6th house of daily work and wellness, so this encourages you to integrate your creative instincts into your professional life. If you've been feeling stuck in your career, then this is a really good time to reflect on how you can bring more inspiration and authenticity into your daily work. So lean into your creative side, and maybe that will help you overcome some of your professional challenges. Well, Venus is in Pisces, which is your 6th house of daily routines. It'll be square Jupiter and Gemini, which is your 9th house of higher learning and expansion. So this aspect might highlight the tension between your day-to-day responsibilities and your desire to explore some new opportunities. Now take a step back and maybe reevaluate whether your routines support your larger goals. Are there maybe some small adjustments that you could make to align your daily life with your aspirations? And this full moon is going to be inviting you to find harmony between your professional ambitions and your personal foundations. Now, with the moon lighting up your 10th house, this is a moment to reflect on your career path and whether it aligns with your emotional well-being. Journaling or meditation questions that you might want to reflect on are: how can I balance my public life with my private needs? What steps could I take to maybe ensure that my professional efforts are aligned with my core values? So Libra, this lunation will be offering you an opportunity to refine your goals, to embrace some creative solutions, and to bring balance to all of these aspects of your life. Scorpio rising, this full moon on January 13th will be lighting up your 9th house. This is the house of higher learning, travel, and philosophical growth. It'll be opposing the sun in Capricorn, which is your 3rd house of communication and local connections. So this lunation highlights the balance between your big picture vision and your practical details that bring those visions to life. Now, the full moon in Cancer will be shining its light in your 9th house. So this is inviting you to reflect on how your beliefs, your education, and your travel experiences shape your worldview. Opposing the moon is the sun in Capricorn in your 3rd house. So this is going to be challenging you to bridge the gap between expansive ideas and actionable steps. Now, if you've been dreaming of maybe starting a new course of study, or maybe publishing some work that you have, or maybe just planning a trip, this is a really good time to evaluate the logistics and to take some concrete steps forward. Uranus will be in Taurus. So this is harmonizing with the moon in your 9th house and the sun in your 3rd. So it's linking your 7th house of partnerships to your learning and your communication goals. This transit suggests some surprising support and some collaboration through a partner or maybe a significant relationship in your life. It's important to stay open to some new perspectives from those that you trust. A partner or a mentor might offer some unexpected solution, or maybe some opportunity that helps you to expand your horizons. Mars, while still retrograde though, is conjunct this moon in your 9th house. So this intensifies your passion for learning, exploring, and pursuing your truths. It's also trine to Neptune in Pisces, which is your 5th house of creativity and self-expression. So it's infusing your aspirations with some inspiration and some emotional depth. Now, if you've been considering a creative or maybe a spiritual project with maybe some far-reaching impact, this is a really powerful time to reflect on that plan. Trust your instincts and allow your imagination to guide you here. Venus will also be in Pisces, and this is your 5th house of joy and creativity. She'll be square to Jupiter and Gemini, which is your 8th house. So this aspect might highlight tensions between your creative pursuits and responsibilities that are tied to shared finances and emotional bonds. Now look for ways to balance your creative goals with your deeper commitments. And ask yourself if your current investments, both emotional and financial, otherwise, if those align with what it is that brings you true joy. And this full moon is going to invite you to embrace a broader perspective while staying grounded in your daily responsibilities. So with the moon illuminating your 9th house, this is a really good time to connect with your higher purpose and allow your personal philosophy to guide your next steps. Journaling or meditation questions that you might want to reflect on during this time are: how can I align my big picture dreams with my practical steps needed to achieve those dreams? Or what support systems can I lean on to help me grow? And Scorpio, this lunation encourages you to trust in your instincts, to explore your passions, and to take some bold yet thoughtful steps toward your future. And now we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius, this full moon in Cancer shines a light on themes of emotional and financial interdependence in your 8th house. It's opposing the sun in Capricorn in your 2nd house, so this energy encourages you to examine how you manage shared resources and whether your personal values align with these agreements. Now, this is an ideal time to assess financial agreements, investments, or maybe debts. Are they helping you to move closer to your security and your abundance, or are there some adjustments needed here to create a healthier balance? Uranus and Taurus will be harmonizing with the moon in your 8th and the sun in your 2nd. So this is bridging the gap between your 6th house of daily work and routines and your financial goals. And this transit suggests that unexpected changes in your work environment or maybe your daily habits may positively impact your finances or your shared assets. So it's important to keep an open mind to new opportunities or maybe unconventional approaches in either your work or your finances, as a fresh perspective could probably lead to some surprising progress in these areas that once felt stuck. Mars is also retrograde, but will be conjunct the moon in your 8th house. So this intensifies your emotional depth and your focus on transformation. It's also trine to Neptune in Pisces, which is your 4th house. So this is the house of home and family, and it adds a layer of intuition and emotional healing to this energy. Now, if there are some emotional wounds tied to either family or home life, this is a really powerful time to reflect, to release, and to heal those areas. So consider revisiting some financial or emotional boundaries to ensure that they support your long-term stability. And Venus is also in Pisces at this time, which is your 4th house of home and family roots. She'll be square to Jupiter and Gemini, which is your 7th house of partnerships. So this aspect is going to highlight tensions between your home life and your relationships or your partnerships. It's a good idea to find some ways to harmonize the needs of your home and your personal foundations with the demands of significant others. Are your partnerships supporting your vision, or are there some opportunities to maybe reassess the shared goals in your life? Now, this full moon calls you to examine the balance between what it is that you give and what you receive. That's both emotionally and materially. And with the moon highlighting your 8th house, this is a time for some powerful transformation, for releasing what no longer serves you and embracing what it is that supports your growth. For journaling or meditation reflection questions, I would be asking myself, how can I create some emotional and financial stability that supports both my independence and also my partnerships? Another one, what steps could I take that transform old patterns into empowering new ones? Sagittarius, allow this full moon to guide you in creating deeper trust and stronger foundations so that you can move forward with clarity and confidence. Next up, we have Capricorn rising. Capricorn, for you, this full moon will cast its glow in your 7th house of partnerships. It's opposing the sun in your 1st house of self. Now, this lunation asks you to find some harmony between your personal goals and your relationships. It's also emphasizing the balance in how you assert your individuality with nurturing your connections. Now, the full moon in Cancer brings some emotional insights to your 7th house, so it's highlighting significant relationships in your life. Opposing it is the sun in Capricorn, so this energy invites you to reflect on how your personal identity interacts with your partnerships. Are your relationships aligned with who you are becoming, or are there some adjustments needed here to honor both yourself and those that you care about? This is a potent time to have some honest, heartfelt conversations. If there are imbalances in your relationships, it's a good time to address them with a focus on mutual growth and understanding. Uranus will be in Taurus and is harmonizing both the moon and the sun. So moon is in your 7th house, sun is in your 1st. This is activating your 5th house of creativity, romance, and self-expression. So this transit might bring some opportunities for some unexpected breakthroughs in how it is that you connect with others and how you assert your individuality. Be open to unconventional approaches in relationships. A playful or creative activity with a partner could strengthen your bond, while some solo endeavors may help you to feel more balanced and confident. Mars is also still retrograde at this time, but will be conjunct the moon in your 7th house. So this is intensifying some emotional connections, and it's highlighting dynamics in your partnerships. It's also trine to Neptune in Pisces, which is your 3rd house of communication. So this adds some intuitive and empathetic energy to your conversations. Now, this is an excellent time to address lingering emotional concerns in your relationships. So use some compassionate communication to deepen understanding and to foster some healing. If conflicts arise at this time, focus on collaboration and problem solving rather than reactive responses. Well, Venus is in Pisces. This is your 3rd house of communication and local connection. And she'll be square to Jupiter, which is your 6th house. And this is the house of work and routines. So this aspect creates some tension between your desire to connect emotionally and the demands of your daily responsibilities. This is a good time to seek balance by creating some intentional time for meaningful conversations or maybe some short trips that nurture your relationships, even amid a busy schedule. So reassess your work-life balance to ensure that you're not sacrificing emotional connections for productivity. The full moon illuminates the importance of balancing your individuality with your partnerships. So this is a time for emotional clarity and collaboration, and it's guiding you to deepen your connections while also staying true to yourself. For opportunities with journaling or meditating, questions you might want to ask yourself are, how can I honor my relationships while remaining authentic to my personal goals? Maybe what steps can I take to create some partnerships that support both mutual growth and understanding in my life? Capricorn, allow this full moon to guide you toward harmony in your personal and your relational life. It's setting the stage for a stronger, more balanced year ahead. Now we have Aquarius rising. Aquarius, this full moon on January 13th will be shining a light in your 6th house of work, health, and daily routines. Opposing it is the sun in your 12th of rest, introspection, and the subconscious. So this lunation asks you to find a balance between your day-to-day responsibilities and the need for deeper self-reflection and some spiritual renewal. The full moon in Cancer will be illuminating your 6th house. So it's bringing into focus your daily habits, your wellness, and your daily responsibilities. Opposing it is the sun in the 12th. So this energy encourages you to consider how it is that your behind the scenes efforts and your inner world impacts your external productivity. Well, this is a time to reassess your work-life balance. If you've been pushing it really hard, then maybe consider ways to incorporate rest and some self-care into your routine. Some small adjustments to your schedule can make a really big difference in your overall well-being. Uranus in Taurus at this time will be harmonizing with the moon, which is in your 6th, and the sun in your 12th. So Uranus here is activating your 4th house of home and emotional foundations. This aspect brings opportunities for innovative change in your daily habits, your work environment, and how you care for your emotional health. You might want to experiment with some new wellness practices or maybe some organizational strategies. A shift in your home environment, maybe like creating a calming space for relaxation or maybe a better or reorganized space for work. This could have a profound effect on your productivity and your emotional well-being. We still have Mars retrograde at this time, and it's conjunct the moon in your 6th house. So this is intensifying your drive to address matters that are related to work and health. It's also trine to Neptune in Pisces, which is your 2nd house of finances and values. So it'll be adding a layer of intuition and creativity to your approach. It's a good idea to channel this energy into practical, thoughtful actions, whether it's reorganizing your workspace or maybe committing to a healthier lifestyle. You're going to want to trust your instincts and allow them to guide you. Financial opportunities could also arise at this time from aligning your routines with your deeper values. We have Venus in Pisces as well, and this is in your 2nd house of finances and self-worth. She will be square to Jupiter in Gemini, and that's your 5th house of creativity and romance and joy. So this aspect could create some tension between your need to focus on tangible results and your desire for lighthearted creative expression. It's a good time to seek balance by setting some clear boundaries with your time. Enjoy moments of creativity and connection with your loved ones, but also ensure that they don't detract from your financial or your productivity goals. Well, this full moon will be encouraging you to integrate your emotional and your physical well-being. It's a moment to refine your routines and to balance between your inner and your outer worlds. If you are journaling or meditating at this time, questions you might want to reflect on are: how can I structure my daily life to better support my emotional and my physical health? Or what habits or routines need to be shifted in order to create a stronger foundation for my future? Well, Aquarius, this full moon will be guiding you toward habits and practices that nurture both your productivity and your inner peace. And it's setting you up for a harmonious start to the year. And finally, we have Pisces rising. Pisces, this full moon on January 13th will be illuminating your 5th house of creativity, joy, and self-expression. It will also be opposing the sun in your 11th house of community, friendships, and long-term goals. Now, this lunation will be inviting you to find a balance between pursuing your passions and you're collaborating with others toward maybe some shared aspirations. This full moon in Cancer will bring some emotional focus to your 5th house. It's highlighting matters that are related to creativity, romance, and personal fulfillment. Opposing it is the sun in your 11th house, where this energy emphasizes the need to align your individual joys with your role within a larger community or a group. You could be asking yourself, are you dedicating enough time to personal passions, or have your commitments to others overshadowed your ability to find joy in your own pursuits? Now, this is the perfect time to revisit some hobbies, maybe spend some quality time with your loved ones, or maybe rekindle a romantic spark. Uranus will be in Taurus at this time, and it's forming a supportive sextile to the moon in your 5th and a trine to the sun in your 11th. So this is activating your 3rd house of communication and ideas. And this aspect brings some fresh insight and some creative breakthroughs, especially in how it is that you connect with others and share your ideas. So if you've been holding back on maybe a creative project or some idea that you want to get started, now is the time to take action on that. Use some innovative approaches to bring your visions to life. Collaboration with your friends or a specific group maybe could lead to some very exciting results. We also do have Mars retrograde at this time, and he will be conjunct the moon in your 5th house. So this intensifies your motivation to focus on creative and romantic pursuits. It'll be trine to Neptune as well in your 1st house of self, and this adds some intuitive, compassionate layers to all of your actions. So lean into your natural creativity and your intuition to guide your decisions at this time. It's a really wonderful time to pour your energy into a passion project, maybe connect deeply with someone special, or to express yourself in an authentic and meaningful way. And finally, we have a look at Venus in Pisces, which is your first house of identity. She'll be square Jupiter in Gemini, which is your fourth house of home and emotional foundations. So this aspect highlights the need to balance your personal desires and your practical realities of your home and your family life. While it's tempting to dream big, ensure that your plans are grounded in reality. And use this energy to set intentions that align your personal goals with your emotional needs and the support structures in your life. This full moon shines a light on how you balance your personal joys with your contributions to the wider world. And it's a chance to celebrate your creativity while also reassessing how you align your personal passions with your broader aspirations. If you happen to be journaling or meditating at this time, questions you might want to reflect on are, how can I bring more joy and authenticity into my daily life? Or maybe, what creative or romantic pursuits deserve more of my attention? Now, Pisces, this full moon will be inspiring you to embrace your inner artist, to nurture some meaningful connections, and to set the stage for a fulfilling year ahead. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this is meaningful for you, and I appreciate your time. Have a good month.